Hi everybody, and welcome to the Bangtan Universe Wormhole. This is Karen, and I'm here to give you some special news about a summer schedule we're going to have for the next little while, and also to give you a gift, something that you might never have heard of that pertains to BTS. So let me start with the summer schedule difference. Right now, we are waiting on BTS. We're not quite sure what they're doing. Well, we know that they're working on their new album. They're somewhere in the United States. Jin either has already joined them or will be joining them after the tour, or maybe they're joining him. It's all a little bit fuzzy. We know that they're working on the new album somewhere in the US. That's the gist of it. We also know that Taeyang has hinted that something might be coming out in August, but I'm sure it's not the album, and none of us are sure what it might be. Knowing him, it could be a single, it could be something of his, some project of his, say another photo shoot, or knowing him, again, he could be swimming with sharks or hiking across Iceland to get a look at the auroras. We really don't know. But we probably are not going to get the album until next year. They originally thought that they could get it out in fall, but after being in the military, Jin and Hobie quickly realized, nah, we're going to need a bit of a break. We're going to have to ease back into this. So that's what they're doing, and what we, meaning this channel, Q and I, are doing is we're going to put things on a semi-hold right now. That means we are not going to produce any more videos unless there's some news that we need to give you, in which case I promise you we'll be right on it. What we're going to do instead is focus on the posts tab, which you can find here if you haven't already found it. It's already pretty full of interesting stuff, so you can go on over there now and find a lot of things to enjoy. But we'll be posting little bits and bobs over there from every now and then. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and that you have notifications on. And that way you'll see when we post something new. You can hop on over there and contribute to it. It's got more of a forum feel than the actual channel. So you can go over there and just hang out, be more informal about it, whatever you like. So that's the first bit of the news. The channel is going to be on a semi-hiatus-ish sort of deal, and that will end as soon as we get some more BTS news. Personally, you know me, I'm hoping for HYYH The Notes Book 3, but who knows when we're really going to get it. Right now, I just want to see some new BU news. And right now, I feel like we're right on the edge of it. But here's the second thing for you. I have news for you about a webcomic that you probably haven't heard of, even if you're a longtime Army. Maybe the really longtime Army have heard of it, because this is a webcomic that debuted around the time of Dark and Wild and the Red Bullet Tour. And if you remember, the Red Bullet Tour gave us the first VCRs that set the groundwork for the BU. So this is starting at about the same time the BU is just beginning to rev up its engines. And this webcomic continued on until April 2015, which was when HYYH1 came out. So this little webcomic bridged the gap between the two. And yet it's not BU material. I need to be clear about that. This is a little bit closer to Chaco. It kind of looks like a dry run for Chaco. So let me tell you what's happening. This is a story that's set in a sort of sci-fi fantasy world. And the members of BTS with the BTS names like RM and Jin and Suga are attendees at a school for students with special abilities, only these guys are in the class for misfits because they haven't been doing everything they should. Then a new girl comes into the school, and she seems to be a stand-in for Army. And she meets all the guys, and when she's with them and monsters start invading the school, then something about her triggers powers in them. It's really a lot like what Army does for BTS. And they become superheroes, each one with a different set of powers, and begin fighting these monsters. And that's what the webtoon is about. It's called We On, Be the Shield, and I will put a link to it in the description below. There are actually a lot of copies all over the web, but they've all been translated from Korean into English because it was only offered in Korean at the time. And some of the translators got all the way through to the end, and some did not. So I'm going to make sure I give you a complete version. But fair warning, it is incomplete. It ends on a cliffhanger because it only goes through the first season and was not renewed. Instead, BTS went straight on into the BU. So if you read it, just be aware of that. It ends in a point that's going to make you want more. It's not going to end on a point quite as dire as HYYH, the notes did, so you don't have to worry about that. But be aware of that. Okay, so it's We On, Be the Shield. I'm going to post the link below. It has a cliffhanger. It's science fiction fantasy. It also has some horror. Be aware of that. If you don't like icky looking bug things, then you might want to take a pass on this. But otherwise, you're fine. And when it comes to this channel, check in for the posts now and then, but we won't be posting as regularly. We won't have a standard schedule the way we normally do. So while you're waiting, you can consider learning Korean, checking into all those run BTSs that you never got to, checking into the Bon Voyages, everything else you thought you'd have a chance to do when the guys were off in the military. Maybe you'll be able to do it in 1 month or so before we get new news from them. We'll see. But in the meantime, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you later. Apo Bangpo.